What should have been a straightforward arranged marriage, where both parties got what they wanted, turned into a power struggle and emotional tug-of-war, leaving me repeatedly thrust into the spotlight. One late night, I forwarded a screenshot of a WeChat post to Lucas, my words laced with testing and sarcasm. To my surprise, he casually replied, "Stop being silly, my dear Lucas," as if nothing mattered. But just when he thought he could handle it easily, his limited edition sports car model and that bottle of $1 million red wine were reduced to shards in my hands. I wasn't throwing a tantrum. I was reminding him in my own way that in this marital chess game, I am the one who sets the rules. My patience is limited, and every act of tolerance is a prelude to the next decisive move. Even when faced with the calm Lucas, he will eventually realize that what belongs to me, no one else can covet. But Lucas always thought that a joke could settle everything. Unfortunately, he underestimated me. Lucas took his new assistant to a private auction and gave her a pendant worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. The young assistant posted about it on her social media, writing, "He said that as long as you put in the effort, there will be rewards. This is just a small reward. I'll keep working hard. Dear CEO." Ethan sent me a screenshot of the post. I immediately forwarded it to Lucas. Lucas sure is generous. A few $100,000 is nothing to him. How much would be enough in business? It has to be at least 10 million. You have 1 minute to make 5 million appear in my account. Don't make me say it again. Lucas casually replied, "Stop being silly, my Lucas wife." 2 minutes later, he received a video. In the video, I had destroyed his limited edition sports car model. That model was worth 5 million. Soon after, Lucas called me. "Don't you know how important that model is?" "Olivia, what's wrong with you?" "Lucas, I already gave you one chance." I looked at my Patek Philippe watch on my wrist and said, "I'll give you one more chance. I'm right in front of your wine cellar." 1 minute before I could finish speaking, he hung up. Soon after, my phone showed that 5 million had been transferred. I turned around and smashed the bottle of red wine worth millions, then sent a photo to him. The wine spilled on the ground, its aroma filling the air. What a pity. "Lucas, I really don't want to remind you again that you're already married. The model car was a small punishment for not taking my words seriously. And the red wine was the price you paid for the chance I gave you. If there's a next time, this is just the beginning." This time, Lucas didn't call me or send any messages. I knew this calm and perfect man was angry, and pretty angry at that. But what does it matter? I don't care, in arranged marriages between wealthy families. If the couple develops feelings for each other, that's their luck. If they don't, it's understandable after all. It's all about interests. My situation with Lucas is fairly normal. When we first met, we were okay with each other. Nothing we disliked, but nothing we liked either. This set the tone for our marriage in arranged marriages. Lacking an emotional foundation is quite normal, and that's exactly our case. We followed the proper procedures and held a grand wedding. On the night of our wedding, we chose to sleep separately, and before going to bed, we said goodnight to each other. 3 months after the wedding, it was I who suggested that we start sleeping in the same bed. The Johnson family is a prestigious family with a long history, respected by many, and with many traditional rules, which has shaped Lucas's reserved and elegant personality. On the other hand, the Thompson family is a newly wealthy family. My father built his fortune through courage and determination in the business world, and we have nothing to do with the Johnson family's rules. We take a direct and straightforward approach. I don't believe in love at first sight. Lucas and I clearly developed feelings for each other after spending a lot of time together. We are both very clear about our love for each other, but people like us have to stay rational. We can't put this love first or last or give it up. A little assistant actually made me angry. His self-important attitude really annoyed me. I hate it when people look at my things, even just a glance. But I also understand that some feelings become stronger the more you suppress them. Just like Lucas. It was getting dark when Lucas sent me a message saying there was a dinner tonight and not to wait for him. I didn't reply and focused on my own work. At 8 o'clock, my old rival, Isabella, whom I hadn't spoken to in ages, sent me a photo. The background was a party, looking lively. Lucas was sitting next to a young girl who looked more like a teenager. She was dressed carefully, with nice makeup, looking sweet and cute. When she smiled, her 2 little dimples added a touch of playfulness. "Hey, Olivia. Are you tired of being Lucas's wife? Your husband's taste is really disappointing." At the same time, My assistant sent me a message. The little assistant had posted another update on her social media. Attending a gathering of influential people was exactly the life she had always dreamed of, and having such a mentor made her feel truly blessed. The accompanying photo was a selfie of the assistant, smiling happily and showing her two little dimples. Though it was hard to put into words, I had to admit that the expensive pendants around her neck really caught my eye. Lucas actually agreed to be her prop, smiling broadly as she took selfies, his affection clearly evident on his face, completely revealing his true feelings. Earlier, he had scolded her for replying to a colleague's work message during a business dinner, nearly firing her on the spot. Now, not only does Lucas not mind the new assistant taking selfies, but he's even willing to appear in them alongside her, using his CEO status to help boost her image. He knows there's my rival Isabella at the dinner table, and that she'll definitely send me messages mocking me. He knows I'll find out he brought another woman to the dinner, and that I'll see the assistant's social media posts, even if I don't check them myself. Someone will tell me, he's so carelessly letting this girl act this way and provoking me like this. Is it just because I smashed his sports car model and ruined his prized red wine during the day? He wants to use this method to get back at me. Unfortunately, even if his entire family teams up, they can't match the power of my single finger. He seems to have forgotten that provoking emotions is useless against people like us. Only money and power are what we can't give up. I sent Lucas a message. Are you planning to bring her to class with you? Give me an explanation. 10 minutes have passed, and there's still no change in my chat with Lucas. I sent Isabella a message. Has Lucas seen his phone? Isabella replied immediately. He did. Why isn't he replying to this message from Olivia? Did you ask him why? I sent Lucas another message. Reply quickly. I know you saw my message, but the message was like a stone dropped into the sea. Lucas still didn't reply. This is your last chance. Please reply within a minute. I want you to understand my way. In less than half a minute, I sent him a photo. Lucas replied quickly. Olivia, what do you want soon? Isabella sent another message. Wow, what did Olivia do to make Lucas, such a mature and steady guy, get so angry? Oh my. His face turned red, and the veins on his forehead were popping out. He's definitely Lucas's wife. I sent Isabella a mischievous smile emoji. Sis, come check this out. The photo I sent, Lucas showed an old, yellowed diary that had clearly been kept for many years. This was the diary Lucas's first love had written for their relationship, documenting every little detail of their 4 years together. Unfortunately, fate was cruel, and the girl was diagnosed with cancer before she even graduated from college and eventually passed away. This diary was the last memento Lucas had of the woman he had loved for years, and he cherished it more than his own life. I suddenly noticed that the young assistant and the woman in the photos in the diary bore a striking resemblance. Lucas, you're actually playing the role of a stand-in? I really think that's unfair to that girl. I hadn't replied for just a minute, and Lucas sent another message in a hurry. Don't touch it. The message seemed urgent, as if he truly cared deeply about the diary. Lucas, call me? This time he was obedient and called immediately. His voice was low. Olivia, let's talk about this at home, okay? Put it on speaker. What are you trying to do? I said, put it on speaker. Lucas had no choice but to comply. Sorry to disturb everyone. I heard that my husband Lucas brought someone new today, so I called to confirm. Lucas sounded pretty tense. Olivia, Ethan had something else to do today, so I brought her over. We're just colleagues, don't misunderstand. Is that right? I want to ask all the bosses here, would you give an intern a pendant worth over 900,000? Lucas, I hate it when people take my things without permission. Now, take that pendant off her. I mean, rip it off, break it, of course, I'll give you a choice. The thing in my hand or the thing around her neck, you pick. I heard Sophia ran out of the dinner party crying. Isabella kept sending me messages all night. A spoiled princess is a spoiled princess. Since you invited me to watch the show, I'll give in to you whenever we argue in the future. Lucas is really ruthless. He easily escalated the situation. I'm sure that young girl is heartbroken. This girl isn't someone you two should be playing around with, is she? With so many people here today. This will definitely spread tomorrow. If it were me, I wouldn't dare go out. Miss Olivia sure knows how to handle her husband. Can you share her secret? I said casually, what's so hard about it? If you don't love him, he'll naturally obey you. After arguing so many times, This is the first time Isabella has ever admitted defeat. I can't do that. This time, I admit you're better than me. Of course she can't. She and her husband have known each other since childhood. Their relationship has always been good. And their feelings have always been sweet. After all these years, they're still so close. It's really annoying to watch. Seeing Lucas's expression, I felt a bit annoyed. Will he argue with you when he gets back? Argue? Who's going to argue with whom? Isabella said, don't be too harsh, then fell silent. Less than an hour later, Lucas rushed back. He burst into the room, grabbed my hand tightly, his eyes filled with anger. Where's that diary? I just stared at him without saying a word. Olivia, I'm asking you where that diary is. I continued to stare at him, still saying nothing. After about a minute of standoff, he felt helpless and sat on the bed, saying, Olivia, I respect you and love you. I'll do whatever you say, but today you made me lose face and hurt a young girl. What do you want me to do to make you happy? Don't talk to me like that. You need to understand, I'm not a bitter woman. I'm your wife? Didn't I make myself clear today? Didn't I say that if it happened again? The car and the wine were just the beginning. An awkward silence filled the air. Lucas finally said, she's just a college student who just started her internship. I've taken new assistants to events before. Why won't you believe me now? Lucas, didn't you always tell me everything beforehand? When have you ever given a new assistant such an expensive gift? Your actions make it hard for me to trust you. A pendant worth nearly 900,000 yuan isn't a big deal to us. We could give it to anyone, but it depends on whether they deserve it. You casually gave a pendant worth nearly 1 million to a woman you've only known for a short time, and even took her to a dinner party yourself. Don't you think I have a right to be angry? I only gave her the pendant because she's been working hard lately and ended up crying with swollen eyes after failing to complete her task. I really don't have any other intentions toward her. You say you don't, but you know you do. Not doing your job well is her problem, but didn't you train her yourself? Do you give other assistants as much as you give her? An ordinary family might not earn that much money in a lifetime, and you just give it to her so easily. Do you know what kind of wrong ideas this might give her? For a young woman who's just entered society, how much impact would something worth hundreds of thousands of dollars have on her? Do you really not know that? If it weren't for your leniency, would she have posted that on her social media? Does she really not know I'll see these things? We all care about face. But you took her to a dinner and had her stand in for me. What will others think? How am I supposed to feel? Have you ever considered these things? She took selfies at the party. And not only did you not stop her, you willingly let her use you as a backdrop. Did you ever think about how you'd lose face at the party because of me? Your assistant Ethan replied to work messages at a party, and you scolded her on the spot. Why are you so lenient with an intern? It's because of your indulgence that she dared to provoke me. Don't you know that treating her this way will make her have inappropriate thoughts? I've gradually uncovered his true nature. I checked her resume, and she doesn't even meet the qualifications to be your assistant. Her education doesn't even qualify her to work at this company, yet you made an exception for her and made her your assistant, simply because she resembles your long-lost first love who passed away. Lucas, you're actually mourning. Through this stand-in, you're trying to find traces of the past and recapture the time you spent with your deceased first love. Aren't you? He fell silent. The atmosphere between us grew tense, and I stared at him coldly. Lucas, look at me. He lifted his head and met my gaze, our eyes locked. I wrapped my arms around his neck, forehead pressed against his, then gently kissed his lips and said, Lucas, I love you. Do you love me? His voice was hoarse as he replied, Yes. I took out the yellowed diary from the drawer beside us and said, The past is the past. We can't change it. What we need to focus on is the present and the future. I gently placed the diary in his hands. I love you. I know you're a man who values loyalty and honor, so I won't touch the past you cherish most. We've had such a big conflict in our relationship because of a third party. I hope this is the last time. Can we? I'm sorry, I can't grant that request. He desperately tried to get closer, but I held him tightly around the neck. Lucas, one last time. Can you do it? Lucas's movements began to relax slightly. I promise, this will never happen again. The news about Sophia had already spread throughout the company. In the past, all external receptions and business activities were arranged by the assistant department, and whoever was on duty would accompany Lucas to various events and handle matters. However, ever since Sophia was specially recruited by Lucas, the scheduling disappeared, and it was always Sophia attending the events. The next day, Sophia didn't go to the company, and the assistant marked her absence as an unauthorized absence. When this report was submitted to Lucas, he signed it without hesitation. This made everyone in the company realize that the good days for the young assistant were over. The people in the company were all smart and knew how to read the situation. Sophia was transferred and demoted from assistant to doing menial tasks in logistics. Whether Lucas was in the office or not, she was no longer allowed to go to the president's office floor. Her position was downgraded, her salary naturally decreased, her income plummeted, and her status was no longer what it once was, leading others in the company to speculate about the truth behind the matter. Business banquets had always been the responsibility of the president's wife. But now, this new secretary was accompanying Lucas to the banquet instead of her. Rumors were already spreading throughout the company. Everyone knows the president's wife is very strict about such matters. But no one expected her to act this way, not even giving the young assistant any face, forcing the president to tear off the pendant he had given Sophia in front of everyone. Previously, some in the company speculated that the young assistant might become the next president's wife, but after this incident, the rumors vanished completely. Now, the rumors in the company all say that anyone who dares to compete for the position of president's wife will meet a tragic end. Sophia has become the laughingstock of the company, with employees often joking about her and discussing her affairs. That person who ruined someone else's relationship doesn't need me to remind anyone. People will mock her on their own. Some employees even discuss the incident openly in front of her, recounting how the president ripped the pendant off. I've never been one to let such things go. If you dare to touch what I consider mine, you must face the consequences. So I had Ethan submit a resignation request for Sophia to the HR department. The HR department didn't say much, signed it quickly, and issued the termination notice, telling Sophia to leave, but I underestimated Sophia's capabilities. I don't know how she did it, but even Lucas doesn't want to talk to me about his first love, yet he can still chat with her happily. The next day, Sophia came to the office to pack her things, deliberately wearing a striking red dress paired with high heels. Her innocent face now had a touch of allure, truly catching everyone's attention, when she encountered Lucas in the elevator while holding her moving box. Before Lucas could even ask her anything, her tears had already softened his heart completely. In the office, Sophia stood behind Lucas with tear-stained cheeks, smugly watching his assistant confront Lucas's anger. I pay you your salary and give you authority, but that doesn't give you the right to bully me. You need to make it clear who you work for. Ethan asked calmly, Lucas, who is your person? Lucas realized he had said the wrong thing and didn't want to continue the conversation. You're fired. Hand over your current tasks. Sophia will take over your position. That night, Lucas was angry with me for the first time. I was eating dinner when he came in and overturned the table. Olivia, how could you fire her just because of some baseless suspicions? What are you afraid of? Is it because she's younger than you and it makes you uncomfortable? Don't think you can do whatever you want just because you're Lucas's wife. Your deliberate targeting of me has already made me very angry. Olivia, I won't let you get away with this. He slammed the door shut, the sound echoing loudly, revealing his inner frustration. I stared at his departing back without expression, but my heart was calm. Then I picked up several new bowls and smashed them against my legs with all my strength. Instantly, several bloodstains and bruises appeared on my legs. Blood trickled down like fine threads, dripping onto the ground and forming a beautiful flower. Lucas, I gave you a chance, but you still made a mistake. Don't blame me for being ruthless. I took photos of the mess on the table that Lucas had overturned, along with the injuries on my body, and sent them to Grandma Emily. Soon after, Grandma Emily called via video call. Mom, Lucas broke up with me over an intern who resembles his ex-girlfriend. Not only did he take that girl to a party to humiliate me, but he also publicly supported that assistant at work. My voice choked up, and I felt so wronged, but I stubbornly refused to cry, just wanting her and Grandpa James to be upset with Lucas. Today, because I fired that assistant, he came back and argued with me, ending up hurting me. Mom, I'm really in pain right now. I was crying so hard, tears streaming down my face. Grandpa James immediately called a driver to bring them over, and also called the family doctor to come and treat my wounds first. Grandma Emily kept comforting me on the video call, while Grandpa James looked very frustrated as if he was about to explode. They arrived soon after. Grandma Emily sat beside me, looking at my bandaged leg with a pained expression, her eyes filled with disapproval. Grandpa James immediately called Lucas. "No matter where you are, come home right now. If you don't show up within half an hour, don't even think about coming back." Grandma Emily tightly held my hand, hugging me close as if afraid I would run away. She kept telling me comforting words, repeatedly promising that Lucas would apologize today and that I wouldn't be wronged in the slightest. I leaned against Grandma Emily's chest, occasionally sniffling, but in my heart, I was thinking about how to make things even bigger from a young age. I was taught to be rational and calm, not to act impulsively. Getting angry over a lowly competitor was unnecessary. I believed that a successful businessman should use the resources at his disposal to secure victory. I am Lucas's lawful wife, protected by law, with the support of Grandpa James and Grandma Emily. We have two closely linked business projects, and our financial strength easily surpasses that of a mere assistant. Why should I give up these advantages to argue with her over who is younger or who resembles Lucas's first love more? My father has a temper, and I'm his only daughter. If anyone dares to bully me, he won't let them off the hook today. I just want Lucas to admit his mistake without involving my father, so I firmly refused his suggestion to step in. The purpose of a nuclear weapon is deterrence. There's no need for you to get involved in such a minor matter. If I lose tonight, it means the Johnson family has nothing worth staying for. And you can do whatever you want afterward. I won't stand in your way. My father is ready behind the scenes, like a lion waiting to pounce. About half an hour later, the villa door opened, and Lucas walked in with a gloomy expression. Seeing him, I couldn't help but smile. Lucas is so frustrating, he actually brought Sophia back. As soon as he entered, he sensed the heavy atmosphere in the villa, and his serious expression softened slightly. "Dad, I was in a meeting. What urgent matter required me to come back?" Grandpa James hummed lightly and said, "What's the point of you being in a meeting at this hour? Can't you hold it during the day? Does it have to be at night? What kind of meeting are you having? Who are you with? You dare to lie to me." Lucas knew he had done something wrong, but he didn't expect his father to react so strongly just because he had mentioned it casually. He was actually on a date and hadn't held any meeting at all. He had been out with Sophia, watching the stars and the moon, taking her shopping, and having a candlelit dinner. Sophia had posted their entire itinerary on her social media. I had already shared the post about our candlelit dinner with Grandpa James and Grandma Emily. In front of others, Grandpa James didn't give me any face. "Why aren't you saying anything? Where's the energy you usually use to scold your wife? Do you hit your wife?" Lucas looked at me in confusion, finally noticing the thick bandage on my thigh, and his expression turned serious. "Olivia, when did I ever hit you? I didn't know you were such a good actress." Tears welled up in my eyes and flowed down uncontrollably. "Yes, you didn't hit me, you just flipped the table and that was my fault, so what?" Before I could finish, Grandpa James gave Lucas a hard slap on the leg. "That's too much, you were just flipping the table, and Olivia got hurt so badly. Yet you dare to say you didn't do it?" The blow sent Lucas crashing to his knees. Grandpa James slapped Lucas across the face again. Sophia was startled and quickly grabbed a tissue to wipe the blood from Lucas's nose. Grandma Emily gripped my hand tighter, and I could tell this intimate gesture made her uncomfortable. "Lucas, what are you doing? You don't care, but the Johnson family has a reputation to uphold." Hearing Grandma Emily's scolding, Sophia's hand froze, realizing this wasn't the time for PDA. She quickly grabbed the tissue and stepped aside, trying to look more obedient. Lucas's face turned angry. "Olivia, how long are you going to keep this up?" Smack. Grandpa James slapped him again, and this time Lucas's nose started bleeding. "This is so frustrating. Think about what you did. How dare you snap at your wife like that? How could I have given birth to such a cold-hearted son?" Grandma Emily looked at Sophia hiding behind him. "What do you mean by bringing her back? Do you want Olivia to give up her position for you? Or are you telling me you plan to replace your father's wife?" Sophia's eyes filled with tears as she hurriedly waved her hands. "Uncle and Aunt, please don't misunderstand. I'm just Lucas's assistant. We have no special relationship." Lucas felt a dull pain in his leg. He stood up and shielded Sophia behind him. "Don't misunderstand, she's just my employee. Our relationship is normal." "I haven't cheated." Grandma Emily let go of my hand, picked up the vase beside her, and threw it at Lucas, saying, "How dare you lie? Lucas, is this how you teach people to behave? Just because you had a candlelit dinner doesn't count as cheating? Do you have to wait until you're in bed to call it cheating?" Lucas dodged to the side, and the vase fell to the ground, shattering into pieces. Sophia behind him let out a pained moan. Grandma Emily sneered, "You're such an old fox, you didn't even hit the vase. Yet you're the first to cry out in pain. Are you worried no one cares about you?" Sophia's face turned pale, realizing she had overreacted. She quickly lowered her head and pretended nothing had happened. "Dad, Mom, you don't believe your own son but believe the words of an outsider. Sophia and I are innocent. Don't listen to Olivia's nonsense." He grabbed Sophia's hand and said, "Since you think that way, there's nothing I can do." After saying that, he dragged Sophia out and slammed the door shut, while Grandpa James was angrily cursing. I gently but firmly pulled my hand away from Grandma Emily. What an outsider, what an innocent person. We were holding hands, the evidence is right there. He just doesn't want to have anything to do with me. I don't think I need to argue with him anymore. Mom and Dad, since Lucas has said that, I don't think there's any point in continuing with him. There's nothing left to discuss. I've decided to divorce him. The next morning, when Ethan walked into the Johnson Group building, he bumped into Sophia, who was smiling, seeing her former boss. Sophia said arrogantly, "You've been fired by Lucas. What are you doing here? You've offended Lucas, don't even think about coming back." As soon as she finished speaking, Sophia's expression changed instantly. She quickly stood up straight and respectfully said, "Good morning, ma'am." I stood in front of her, looking down at her, and said, "She is now my full representative and the executive vice president of Thompson Group. You're just an intern. You have no right to mock her. Tell Lucas to come to the conference room in 10 minutes, Sophia said firmly. "Madam, Lucas is about to start a meeting. 10 minutes might not be enough." "Is that so? Then tell him I'm here to discuss divorce with him. If he doesn't come within 10 minutes, I'll file for divorce in court tomorrow, in front of everyone at the company." I patted Sophia on the shoulder and said, "I told you to go, so go. Otherwise, you'll always be a disgraceful mistress. Ha ha. I've already disposed of the unnecessary items. Whether you can get them back depends on your own abilities." 10 minutes later, when Lucas walked into the conference room with a blank expression, I had already arranged for HR to fire the 2 employees who had publicly flattered Sophia earlier. I just wanted everyone to understand that while you can find better opportunities at Thompson Group by offending Lucas's assistant, offending me, Olivia, means you'll have to pack your things and leave. Olivia, do you still want to cause trouble? What exactly do you want to do? I sat there proudly, saying nothing. Ethan handed Lucas a divorce agreement and said, "Lucas, you can review the terms first. If everything is in order, just sign it." Lucas stared at the divorce agreement in front of him, feeling a bit angry. "Olivia, what exactly are you trying to do?" I was focused on my phone, not even bothering to look up. "Divorce you, can't you tell? The property division in the agreement is clearly stated. As for the company matters, our divorce won't affect our collaborative projects. However, I want an additional 5% of the year-end dividend. Just because of Sophia, you want to divorce me?" I put down my phone and looked up at him. "Lucas, I've warned you twice already. This is the last time. I've always been firm. I've already made concessions for you once before, but you didn't appreciate it. Since you like your little assistant, I'll step aside." Slam! Lucas slammed his hand on the table and said, "Olivia, I've told you countless times. I didn't cheat on you. What do you want me to do to make you believe me?" I smiled and replied, "Did I ever say I didn't believe you? Did I ever say you did something to hurt me? Then why do you insist on divorcing me?" I finally stood up, looked him in the eyes, and said, "No one wants something tainted. Which boss would spend tens of thousands on a pendant to please an assistant? Which CEO would let an assistant replace his wife at a banquet? You have no relationship with her, yet you took her out for a candlelit dinner. When a man brings a woman home, it's usually his wife. Do I really need to tell you this? You let her provoke me on social media, and everyone is reminding me about it. People at the company are speculating about your relationship, yet you don't care at all. Lucas, don't make excuses for your actions. This makes me feel deeply disappointed in you. The things you've done are telling me that I'm probably no longer suitable to be your wife. Right? Do you really dare to say that if I go out with another man, bring him home, eat at a couple's restaurant with him, introduce him to my parents, and then tell you we're just friends, you'd believe me? I handed him the divorce agreement, sign it quickly. I have a prenatal checkup appointment this afternoon and don't have time to linger here. Lucas froze, staring intently into my eyes and asked, "You're pregnant?" "Yes, 2 months already." Lucas's mind flashed back to the intense argument after that gathering and the wild scene that followed that night. "This isn't yours, don't even think about it." Lucas looked stunned. "What are you talking about? That night, I'll say it again, this is definitely not yours." I coldly interrupted him. "The child I'm carrying belongs only to me, and it will take my last name. Don't interfere." "Olivia, what are you trying to say?" I glanced at him, meaning exactly what I said. "Lucas, I don't want my child to have a father who thinks of someone else, and I certainly don't want him to have a father who lies and lacks integrity. Do you think that as long as there's no physical infidelity, it's okay? Emotional infidelity isn't infidelity? You've never responded to her provocations toward me, and you've tacitly accepted her feelings for you and those little gestures. You might be able to hold your ground today, but what about tomorrow and the day after? What makes me believe you? Just your smooth-talking mouth. Lucas, wake up. We're business people. We prioritize our own interests and don't invest in high-risk, low-return projects. It's better to prevent problems from arising in the first place than to deal with them later. This child, I will raise him alone. He belongs only to me. You have nothing to do with him. You make me feel uncomfortable now. I feel you're not clean. I don't want you anymore. Lucas, we need to divorce." However, Lucas still refused to sign the divorce agreement. As Sophia was leaving the company, he ran out after her. "Miss Olivia, please wait a moment." She stood in front of me, her expression firm. "Can we talk? Let's talk here. I'm busy and don't have much time to listen to you." Her eyes betrayed a hint of helplessness. "I'm sorry, Mrs. Lucas. I misunderstood you, but Lucas and I really have nothing going on. I can't stand people who are so unaware of themselves." I cut her off before she could finish. "What are you apologizing for? I've never blamed you. I'm not your teacher or your boss. I don't have time to teach you how to behave. But Sophia, don't mess with me. I can't stand people like you who act innocent on the surface, but are calculating behind the scenes. You wear the necklace Lucas bought for you around your neck with any outfit, just to let everyone around you know that in Lucas's eyes, you're special and superior to them. You share your work life with him on social media, making it seem like you're showing off how close you are and how you have privileges others don't. You know there are some situations you shouldn't be in, but you still refuse to leave. You're just trying to see how he feels about you. If you didn't have those ulterior motives, you wouldn't be bragging to your friends in the office break room about how you won over the big boss." Sophia furrowed her brows. "How do you know that?" "I've never seen someone so naive. Because I'm still the president's wife, and you're just the mistress who meddled in someone else's marriage, so they're all happy to tell me what they hear, instead of keeping it a secret for you. Don't think everyone is as scheming as you are. Mistresses aren't usually well-liked, so what? Are you still going to divorce Lucas? Has he signed the papers yet?" Sophia's eyes gleamed with determination. "He'll sign eventually. Young lady, don't get too cocky. You remind me of his late first love. I can help him regain those happy memories. But what can you do for him? Do you have the financial strength to collaborate with him? Do you have the connections to help him expand his market? Do you have the background to help him find opportunities? Why do you think he would give up his current wealth and status for you?" I couldn't help but laugh. "You're just a replacement, and deep down you know you're someone who can be discarded at any moment. Right? If Lucas can protect you, let him protect you well. Everyone says that a gentleman should take his time when seeking revenge, but I'm not the type to endure. If I have a grudge, I want to settle it quickly, otherwise, I feel uneasy." She looked at him warily and asked, "What do you want to do? If you dare to lay a finger on me, Lucas won't let you off easily. Why won't he leave me alone? Don't worry. I won't hit him again after I've beaten you. I just want more people to know about you so you can't stand your ground in this industry. I'm sure Lucas will feel the pressure soon and transfer you from the assistant department to a menial position, or even fire you outright. Everyone knows deep down that you're just a replacement. If you were really his first love, I might feel a little pressure, but you're just someone he uses to reminisce about the past. How important do you think a replacement is to him? Oh, I forgot to tell you something important." I took out my phone and showed her a video. "This is the cat you've been raising for years, right? You even hired someone to take care of it. Didn't you, earlier? Your cat ran out and was accidentally hit by my driver. You'll receive compensation for your cat soon. I'm sorry. I hope you feel better. After saying that, I turned and left, leaving Sophia crying bitterly at the company entrance. I didn't expect Isabella to act so quickly, digging up something from Sophia's high school days. It turned out that she had been involved with a wealthy businessman for money back then and had been his mistress. Later, she dropped out of school due to pregnancy, had an abortion, and then worked as a bar hostess to live a luxurious life. She met a university professor at the bar and became his secret mistress to obtain a university degree. After the contract expired, she started dating the manager of a talent agency, which allowed her to secure an interview at the company. Coincidentally, Lucas saw her that day. Thanks to her resemblance to Lucas's first love, she was easily hired and became Lucas's assistant. With such a rich background, Isabella, who claimed she only bullied me, wouldn't miss this opportunity to watch the drama unfold. Within a week, Sophia's story spread throughout the entire circle. Everyone knew that Lucas had beaten his wife for a woman who wasn't worth it, and even forced her to divorce him. Grandpa James and Grandma Emily were deeply troubled by the news. Especially after learning that Sophia was pregnant, they immediately called Lucas home for a stern lecture. The next morning, Sophia arrived at the office and was handed a termination notice from HR. Sophia refused to accept the reality and insisted on seeing Lucas. Lucas had the security guards escort her out and even took back the necklace she was wearing. That evening, Grandpa James and Grandma Emily brought Lucas to my house to apologize, hoping for my forgiveness. However, my father scolded them harshly. "You knew my daughter was pregnant, and you only came to apologize now. What were you doing all this time? He is your son. I can't believe you as parents couldn't control him. How dare you let a mere assistant act so arrogantly in front of my daughter? Do you really think so little of the Thompson family? If she were really your son's deceased first love, reincarnated, I wouldn't say anything, but you let an imposter act so arrogantly in front of my daughter. Do you think our family is easy to bully? If your son doesn't divorce my daughter today, he might end up being the Johnson family's new favorite tomorrow. The Thompson family isn't trying to climb the social ladder. Hurry up and have Lucas sign the divorce papers. The child in my daughter's womb isn't yours, and my grandson doesn't need your son as a father." Grandpa James and Grandma Emily were exposed by my father, and their faces turned red with embarrassment. But for the sake of their grandson, they had to endure it, hoping I would forgive Lucas and give the Johnson family another chance. The situation is now clear. I've given Lucas multiple chances, but he chose to give up. Lucas has been clinging to me for months, but when he saw I was determined, he finally agreed to divorce and signed the divorce papers willingly. On the day, we went to the Civil Affairs Bureau to collect the divorce certificate. Isabella told me about Sophia's current situation. She had met a wealthy boss boyfriend in another city, but he didn't keep it a secret, and his ex-wife found out, causing Sophia great harm. After that, she disappeared without a trace. You see, a proper first love should just disappear like that. After 10 months of pregnancy, I finally gave birth to a daughter. In the hospital room, Grandpa James and Grandma Emily held photos of Lucas when he was a child, looking at the baby who resembled a little ball of fluff. And tears streamed down their faces. Seeing how happy they were, my father decided to kick the grandparents out of the ward, which enraged Grandpa James, who was eager to hold his grandson. He even shouted at his own son in the hallway, nearly beating Lucas so badly he had to be hospitalized. After that, Lucas and his family often came to our house. Sometimes when I wasn't home, they didn't seem disappointed. When Zhu Leal was over a year old, she started learning to walk and could call Grandpa, Grandma, and Dad. I didn't refuse the grandparents' visits to see her, as more people caring for Zhu Leal was always a good thing. Every time Zhu Leal adorably called them Grandpa and Grandma, the elderly couple would complain to Lucas. Whenever Zhu Leal called out Dad, Lucas would feel hurt, as I had told her that wasn't her father, and she shouldn't call him that. Lucas begged me many times to remarry him, saying Zhu Leal needed a father, but I refused every time. In a relationship, forgiving someone once sets the stage for potential future hurts. I generally don't like to give my heart to others. As I told him before, that was the first and last time. Now, I no longer need his belated apology.